A thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay, sorry, we're good to go now.
Okay, I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded. If any member of the public would like to make an audio or video recording of the meeting, please notify me by raising your hand in person or remote, and I will notify the public per the Massachusetts public meeting laws. Do we have anyone who's making a recording today? Hello, Gilda.
Gilda gonna stop that.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? No. Great. Public comment. Actually, yeah, public comment. Members of the public are welcome to speak about items that are not on the agenda. Comments should be limited to 2 minutes in length. Due to the open meeting law, there will be no debate or action taken on public comment items. For items on the agenda, the chair may accept comments from the public following the committee's decision of an item. Additional comments and feedback can also be submitted by email to schoolcommittee@falmouth.k12.ma.us. Is there anyone making public comment? I don't see anyone. All right. Mission and vision. Bill, would you like to read that?
Sure. The Falmouth Public Schools creates world-class student learning experiences. Our Clippers are empowered to pursue their goals with curiosity, integrity, and resiliency. Clippers are creative, inquisitive, and engaged learners who participate in the community as socially responsible citizens. Clippers effectively communicate and solve problems that impact the world around them.
Thank you, Bill. I'd like to turn this over to Lori for the first read on the capital plan.
Thank you. You have the capital plan in your packet. And this is just a draft at this point. In a first read, we intend to vote on July 18th at our next meeting. I'd like to turn it over to Paul Dart, our Assistant Director of Finance and Operations. Paul?
All right, thanks, Laurie. Good evening, everybody. My name is, again, Paul Dart. And what I'd like to do is just run you through the various capital projects that we have like your approval on for fiscal year 24, as well as give you a sense of the pipeline of projects that we have coming up for the years following. But the main focus obviously being on fiscal year 24. And I'll kind of run through these just school by school if I could. So on the sheet, the first school is Lawrence. For the fiscal year 24, the cafeteria roof, that's the one-story back part of the building, the back of the building. That roof, we had one bid in so far. The estimate is around $350,000. They literally have to tear that roof down to the deck, re-insulate it, put in new flashing, etc. So that we'll be looking for an allocation of capital in that range of $350,000 for that project. The next project is the stage lighting in the auditorium. That's another large project, but it's replacing all the lighting, both above the stage and on each side of the auditorium, as well as replacing the main control boxes for all the lighting. This would be putting in new LED lighting. Lighting system that we have in there now is over 20 years old, and it's over capacity. We've had some outages during some functions, so it really needs an upgrade. The next one down is the granite step repairs. This is a two set of stairs in front of Lawrence here, one towards the auditorium, one on the main entrance. The stairs have started to separate. They need to be put back in place and repaired. It's one of the smaller projects on the list. The next one down is $9,000 for the windows. And this is basically, Lawrence had new windows put in a few years ago, but a lot of the mechanisms have to be replaced ongoing over a 5-year period. So that's part of this project here. If you drop down to Mullen Hall, this is a new PA system that needs to be put in place. The main module has to be, the communication center has to be replaced. There are roughly 60 speakers put in throughout the building, including some classrooms that currently have no speakers in them at all today. So this is a high priority. And if you go down to North Falmouth, it's a similar situation. You don't need the main telecommunications center that you do in Mullen Hall. But with North Falmouth, you have about 35 speakers you're adding, including 9 new classrooms that need speakers. If you drop down to East Falmouth, we have fencing project for the preschool. There's a playground to be faced to the front of East Falmouth. To the right will be the new preschool classrooms. So we'll be fencing in entirely that playground area. There's currently a fence around the neighboring house right adjacent to the school. That fencing is really in disrepair, leaning over, falling over, rotting, etc. So we're going to completely enclose that area with the new fence, plus put up a privacy component to it. So on that one facing the house, there'll be privacy threads through the weaving of the fence, right? Also at East Falmouth, in the back of East Falmouth, is a project where there's going to be an outdoor learning space. What we're doing here for this purposes of this capital plan is we're replacing the apron, the tar apron on the back of the side of that building, about 190 feet. It's in bad shape. You can trip on it. It's dented. It's been there for the life of the building. So that's going to be torn up and a concrete patio put down. And then additional donations will be made for the outdoor classroom area that will be in that section. So there'll be 2 spaces where kids can have outdoor classes and seating areas, as well as sail covering for those seating areas. So it'll actually be a really nice project. But we just we're going to be paying for the patio portion of this.
Yeah, I just wanted, so the outdoor learning committee that we talked about over the years, they actually have a design, and they're raising money for everything else, but we felt like this was a structural piece that the school district should be responsible for, and that they should not have to replace that.
And then there are certain system-wide projects. You'll see 162,000 for cameras. There are 79 cameras that are going to be added throughout the district. Those are both outdoors and indoors, plus a service center for North Falmouth and East Falmouth that will be added. So that makes up the 162,000. And then in terms of just some general maintenance issues, there are a number of buildings with doors that are, have rotted over time, that they are uneven in how they close. They get stuck when they close. They're difficult to open. They don't have the right security feature, the push bars, etc. So, and this is through multiple schools. So what we have done here is budgeted roughly 10 schools, 10 doors rather, for each year, replacing those doors. They run between $5,000 and $6,000 a piece. And so we carry that out through the 5 years on this plan. Likewise, similar on flooring issues, we have put down roughly $300,000 over the next 5 years for each year. That is replacing and repairing the areas where asbestos tiles have been broken or chipped or worn down, and they need to be pulled up and replaced. That's true of, say, Morris Pond. There's one section has to be completely replaced because it's exposed right at the moment. It's true. sorry.
Are you still talking about the flooring?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You go on.
There's also replacing flooring in several classrooms in the Teaticket as well. And then there are other schools with floorings that the floors will be just tiled over. There's no need to replace the asbestos tiles, better just tile over in those instances. But in any case, this is a sort of a district-wide issue. Some of the floors have been damaged by rain, leaks, et cetera, and just in general need of repair. So we budget $300,000 a year for that.
Yeah, I was just gonna add the high school, there's the 3 areas of the high school, the terrazzo that they put in, so the front entrance going into the gym and the other entrance going to the, no, I don't remember where the third one is. It's going into the gym, the front door entrance, there's a third area.
Yeah, there's
Auditorium?
on the other
the
side of the
auditorium?
office.
Is it the other side? It's the
Yeah.
auditorium. Yeah, that they're having to, do cut reliefs to keep it flat so that it's not so there's a different, lots of variety of different tiling issues. Some has asbestos, some's not. They're just, across the district. And we're doing it across, these projects across time too, is because we only have the summertime to do this, and then we're only gonna be able to get so much done each summer in that time, so it makes sense to not do it all at once.
Right. This first school. Another area of general category is painting. There's certain schools that really need outdoor painting. There's rusted areas, paint is peeling. Walk around Morse Pond, walk around East Falmouth or Teaticket, you'd be able to see it. Badly needed, just cosmetically repainting the areas and making it look a lot better. So we allocated $50,000 in costs per year to start to work on those projects, cost for the district. And then the final final project here for the system is the purchase of 3 vans for up to $260,000. These are replacing vans that we own today that have well over 200,000 miles on them. So we're badly in need of replacing those. And so we put those down on that list. The total amount we're asking for is $1.652 million for fiscal year 24. And basically carry that through the next few years as an estimate. I want to just emphasize that the numbers on the projects that go fiscal year 25 and beyond are really rough guesses. So these numbers can change substantially over time based on where we are with bids and so on and so forth.
So we met with the budget subcommittee, which included our finance committee liaisons and Bill and Kelly, and went over this. We got some feedback, and we kind of went back and re-looked at things. And the finance committee has looked at it again, and they're okay with, they haven't voted obviously yet, but they're okay with this, and then we've submitted it to the town, and they've looked over it at this point, so without any suggestions or changes at this point.
Does anyone have any questions? Clarifications? Chris, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Sure. Are we just kind of asking questions just based on kind of this year, or I know the others after 25 are kind of just general?
Yes.
In terms of like for some of the infrastructure maintenance, like the roof, are you guys considering anything in terms of incorporating like solar or anything into those kind of capital?
The answer is yes for later projects. On this particular project, it's not in a section which receives any type of sunlight, so it wouldn't be appropriate here. for all the projects going forward for the, as we work on our different schools, yes, that's a big priority.
Okay, and the only other question I had, or one other question was, in relation to the doors, have you looked into doors kind of that might be better for safety, from a safety perspective in terms of like bulletproof glass or anything like that, and if we're looking to replace doors eventually throughout?
Yes, actually, in each door is replaced it based on the need of that door. So some cases, doors would require a push bar exit, in some cases they're not. They all tend to be solid pieces, but each panel is solid pieces versus, say, any glass partition part of it. But yeah, I mean, the answer is we look at the individual door to replace that door, you know, and requirements of that space. So, yeah.
If I can go back and add, for the new school committee members that may or may not know, that we actually submitted at the April town meeting for an engineering architectural design for 3 roofs, North Falmouth, East Falmouth, and Morris Pond. And so we are in the process of having that work done, and then when we get that back, we will be submitting an article for the actual replacement. So we've been working with the town on that. On those 3 projects, Paul and I have met with an organization that actually works with the town on submitting grants for the solar piece. So we're looking at that, as well as meeting with other solar companies with the town, just to be able to figure out, but we first need to know the structural capacity of the buildings and what that would mean to add solar. We recently just put Teaticket roof on last summer, and they did not, we wanted solar on that one. They did not find that the roof would be structurally sound to add solar. So, but that is definitely our goal here, is to do whatever solar we can. But we do have 3 roof projects coming up over probably the next 3 years. One is summer, hopefully.
That was also discussed at town meeting. It was brought up by town meeting members when the presentation was made for the roof replacements. Many town meeting members requested to make sure that we could do solar if it was possible. So that is definitely on the forefront. Does anybody else?
I was thinking as well on the solar, and also the canopy parking lot type solar things. I don't know if that's an option down the road as well.
I very much want the canopies. There are 2 locations we looked into. One's the student parking lot at the high school, and the other's the Lawrence parking lot. The problem right now is that steel is so expensive that actually the canopies for the solar is the most expensive way to go. And I don't know how much support we would get with that, is what we're finding out. I don't know if you want to add to that, Paul, but yeah, these are the conversations.
They were clearly pushing us away from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As an option.
And just curious, do we have any opportunities with the sheriff's department regarding painting as we have in the past?
So we actually haven't, like, who would do the painting? We just know that there's a lot of inside and outside painting that needs to be done. So when I first got here, I did know about that, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, Paul, did you, we're gonna?
Yeah, and we also are using some of our custodians that are on part-time to carry them through the summer.
Okay, yes, more full-time work.
Yeah.
That's right, thank you for that. That's right.
Does anyone else?
Two questions.
Sure.
One, I guess, related to the solar, and that's whether, with recognizing the costs, whether the revenue or the expenditure savings that would come from generating our own power is part of that conversation.
Yes, it's Cynthia at town, the town has experience with that, so we are very much looking at in those discussions of making sure that we'll get the cost savings. So far, the prediction on the 3 roofs, we would actually earn more than we'd actually need to run the building. So that's a good thing.
So then related to that, in terms of boiler replacements, has electrifying those systems been a consideration?
Not
I
at
think we
this
should
point.
actually have another conversation, Jen, about the, are you looking at FY '25?
No, there was, oh, I guess all the boilers are subsequent years, but yeah, those are, large projects.
Thank you for that, we'll make sure that that's part of the conversation.
Right.
I believe there was a discussion on the boilers and how it was gonna be done differently than in the past. There
Is
was
it a hybrid?
one that was gonna be moved outside instead of trying to build it inside the school where it currently is. It's cheaper to actually put it on the outside.
The generator,
That was-
the generator,
the
generator,
generator.
yeah, that's, yeah, well, that's actually, the generator, that is exactly what we wanna do
Right.
at Teaticket,
Right.
yeah.
Right, there's no design yet for the North Falmouth boiler. That's the last boiler to be, that needs to be replaced. So this number is kind of a placeholder for it. But North Falmouth also has one of the roofs that need to be replaced. So, I mean, I don't know specifics about how much capacity that would generate, whether you could have an electrical system or not. It's definitely worth considering.
Terry?
Could you just enlighten us what MSBA means? I'm trying to help the new people with acronyms, and myself too, I forget.
Where are you, Terry?
Down in the yellow box, the boiler that may be eligible for MSBA funding.
It's the Mass School Building Authority. It's the authority established by the state to assist in schools building or renovating new buildings across the state. So,
We applied for the Teaticket school, and we received funding to help us out with the Teaticket, so the boiler is one of the options.
And they favor renovations always instead of new stuff, right? Yeah, so, okay.
And I just wanted to add that the town is gonna do a building, or a town-wide building assessment, and we've been talking with them, and they're gonna include our 8 buildings. So once we get an assessment of all the buildings and what the needs are, I think we'll better be able to, kind of fill out the years going out when we get that information back. I mean, we put some things here that we know has to happen, but there's definitely gonna be more conversation once that building assessment gets done, so that. And then the other thing that you might see on here at some point, the town is also looking at a potential new financial management system, which would be shared between the town and the schools, with all the departments. And so that may be something, but they're in the early stages talking. I just wanted to let you know that there could be some changes, and those are 2 things that could definitely change the years out. But right now, we're just looking at that anyway for.
Are there any other questions for Paul?
Just one more,
That's
sorry.
fine, no, it's fine.
So this one's a capital budget. Is there also, I know there are some items in here that were maintenance. Is there a separate maintenance budget, or is it all kind of grouped together?
there is a maintenance budget. In fact, the maintenance budget for fiscal year 23 is just over $980,000. Right now, we're close to $1,060,000 expenditure on that budget. So we pick up a good deal of expense with our maintenance budget.
So that's in our regular budget we have. So this is capital planning out of free cash. And then there's also borrowing. And so the roofs would all come out in the borrowing plan. It wouldn't, so even though, and we'll be talking about this soon this year, once the town kind of has the borrowing plan, and then we'll bring that to the school committee level. So there's different avenues on the keeping our buildings in good working condition.
Does anyone else have any questions? I have 2 questions. Just the recurbing of the sidewalks at Lawrence. I see it's blank. Could you give us a little quick update on that? Specifically, I'm asking for some town meeting folks that make mention of it every time we leave the building.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're waiting on the first step of that would be to do the lighting. And we're still in the process of trying to find contractors to do the lighting for the parking lot. And then the next stage would be, they have to do the lighting first and then the recurving
Okay,
on the parking lot.
so it's a two-part thing, and we're just waiting for the lighting people to give us estimates?
Yeah, estimates to find a contractor. It's been a difficult project to find a contractor on right now.
Okay,
So, but it is in the works. They are in discussions with a couple.
okay. And then I also have a question about the East Falmouth project, the fencing around the preschool.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the students that walk or ride their bike and come in through that back, there's a back path.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that the kids are safe that come through that path and then ride or walk.
Right, there's actually will be a gate right there, so you can come in through that gate from that
Oh, great.
path. There also is an area, there'll be a walkable area behind the fence
Mm-hmm.
to the back of the backside of the building.
Okay,
So,
and will the gate be locked? Like how will kids be able to get in before school?
it's a good question, but I think the gate will be unlocked. Or, I think that the object of the fence is for the children to stay in, as opposed to keeping people out.
Okay.
So I think the answer is it'll be unlocked.
And there are workable solutions, I'm assuming, at each school. I know, having worked in a district where all the schools had fencing all the way around the property, there were hours where when students were coming and going, the gates were unlocked.
Of course.
During the daytime, they were closed, so there was,
That's exactly right.
Okay, those are, anybody else, any questions, comments? Okay,
One
great.
small.
Sure, yes, thank you. No, it's
Raised
okay.
by the replacing the lighting in the Lawrence parking lot. To sound like a broken record, any chance those would be solar powered parking lot lights?
Can I get back to you on that?
Absolutely, well, that's one of that we wanted to do, but because of the cost, I don't know that we're gonna do.
You mean, like, I'm talking about like when you have a parking lot light and it's got the solar panel on the,
That's
Side.
what that's
okay.
apparently the highest cost of solar right now. That's putting them on in parking lot lights.
Not just with the canopy, but just in general, because of the cost of steel.
In general, is what they said. I don't, when we talk with them.
And one of the things we ran into with Teaticket was that because of the way the solar panels would have had to sit, it could basically become a sail in wind. So the roof would have had to have been basically made twice as structurally sound as it was, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but it would have been, the roof itself would have had to have made much, much stronger to have supported the solar panels that we wanted to put on to save money. And so it was found that by the time they put the solar panels on, it would have been, they basically would have never paid for itself, plus you would have had to do all this reconstruction and everything. I think that kind of happens with the parking lot lights and stuff too, and I've done a lot of work with looking at, LEDs versus, halogen lights and safety around those and shadows and everything too, but when you put a solar panel on the top that kind of can become a sail, that light then has to be more structurally sound, which just jacks the cost up.
Okay. Moving on, I'd like to act on the student handbook revisions of 23-24. Is there a motion?
I'll make a
Thank you,
motion.
Terry.
And everybody better vote yes, right, Mary?
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Heather. Is there any discussion on the student handbook revisions? Margaret?
Although I can't see it on the paper, on the computer, on page 11, on the first line, ensure is written twice.
Yes, right, I
Okay.
either you or Kelly mentioned it last time, and so, yeah, but,
Oh, Kelly's not here. so-
right, thank you, though.
Any other concerns, comments, edits? Okay, seeing none. I'd like to act on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, that passed. Next up, let's act on the school committee meeting schedule for 23-24. You have it here on your orange sheet that was left at your place setting. Is there a motion? Thank you, Heather. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Any discussion? No, none? We have the town meeting on Monday, November 13th. That was, I believe, the only edit. And we do not have a April town meeting date as of yet, as I'm sure everyone knows. We will, or they let us know in November for April and April for November. All right, great, seeing none. I'd like to vote on this. All those in favor of the school committee meeting schedule 23-24? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Moving on. Let's act on the school committee subcommittees and assignments. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Terry, is there a second? Second. Heather? Any edits?
Yep.
Thank you, Terry.
Somehow I wasn't loud enough at the last meeting because I asked to be taken off the Learning Access Advisory Committee. You have to scratch me out of there.
Learning access. Chris, is that it, Terry?
Yes.
Chris, I got your email and we will edit you off of the health and safety.
Thank you.
Yep. Just want to eyeball it quickly myself. Again, if that's okay. I also just want to make mention that things do come up during the school year. So now's your final chance to not spread yourselves too thin. All right. Great. Let's vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are cruising. Let's act on the Memorandum of Understanding with units A, B, C, and D regarding after-school one-to-one rate. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Margaret. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Heather. Any comments, questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? This is amazing. We're gonna sign this.
Get to sign it, that's great. Congratulations.
Okay, super. Thank you. I'd like to act on the $830 donation to Falmouth Athletic Boosters. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Bill, was that the?
Yes.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Sue Augusta. Any comments, questions? Please, that's okay.
I just wanted to say thank you. This was a donation made in memory of Jack Reardon. So in lieu of the flowers, they raised $830. So
Wow.
I just wanted to be able to say that and say thank you.
I had Jack Reardon for geometry, and this is great. Thank you, Reardon family. You did really? Thank you, Reardon family. I'd like to approve this. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Super. Hey. Superintendent update, Dr. Gerb.
All right, thank you. So, school's out. We are in summer now. We had some great activities. I think everyone left on a happy note. at school, and we had quite the attendance at most of our schools. We wouldn't expect it at the high school, that half day, coming back after a 3-day weekend. Kids were really excited to be back and came in for the half day, so that's exciting. Also, we had an ALICE training, 2-day, last Thursday and Friday. We had 18 staff members volunteer. The 18 that completed the course will be able to train others. So we are building our capacity within the district, and it was the attendees were teachers, teaching assistants, assistant principals, safety monitors. So we had quite a bit of people that were going to be able to help train. We want to start in the fall substitutes, volunteers that we really haven't been able to do because we didn't have the capacity. So some of the trainers will have that capacity to be able to, take a day while they're working and be able to train them. So that was our next step in ALICE.
I have a quick question on that, if I may. With the ALICE training, are they limited to how many people in one session that they can train? In other words, is it, if one trainer is training like 5 people per a session, or could it be open to
I
unlimited?
don't think we've had limits because we've done large groups of teachers at a time when we train.
I was just wondering if there's an opportunity for school committee
Absolutely.
to go, or at least have the opportunity,
Yes,
whether
we can
they,
invite you.
that would be, just, no pressure either way, but just so that we see what we spend so much time talking about.
Yeah, that's great. No, thank you for bringing that up. It's a great
Sure,
idea.
thank you.
And just the kindergarten numbers, I just wanted to let you know that, we, certainly still get students during the summer to register, but right now we're at 189 for this year, for next school year. And I'm sure there'll be some more before, but I just want to get an update. I've been periodically letting you know where we are on that. The next thing I want to share, last school committee meeting, Melissa, you had asked the question about other devices compared to Chromebooks. And so Mike Falcone had done some research for us, and I thought that I would just give a little update, if that's all right. Mm-hmm. So right now, it costs us $246,050, but for one Chromebook. That's the Chromebook plus a management license of $31.50, but that's a lifetime management. You only have to purchase that once. And then,
Lori, can you state that again? Because I thought I heard 247,000 per Chromebook.
I did too.
Yeah, me too.
No, I heard
$247.
Oh, 47.
And 50 cents.
I heard 1,000 in there, and that's, I just wanted to.
I'm sorry, I hope I didn't say that. Cheryl will go back and let me correct this line, just a little. $246.50. Perfect. An iPad, the iPad plus the management license, which you have to do that on all. But this management license only 5 years, and then a keyboard with that is $695.50. And then the MacBook is $799 plus the management license of $2,750, which is only 5 years, and it's $826.50. So just comparing the price. Now we lease our Chromebooks right now for 5 years, so we're on a 5-year cycle on a lease. And that lease is total, now I'll get the thousands, $132,272 each year for 5 years. The iPad would cost us $373,205 each year, and the MacBook would cost us $443,500 each year. So there's quite a difference. I also want to mention that the Chromebooks can be repaired in-house. Most of the issues with Chromebooks are broken screens, and our department saves all screens from previous Chromebooks. So we actually have the screens, and we just change them out fairly quickly and get them back in the hands of the students. The iPads, the flat rate repair, the iPads have to go to the Apple, and the repair is $249 per, and it takes several weeks to get them repaired. For screens, you could go to a third party at $150, but it would void that warranty, so really the option is the $249. And MacBooks have to be repaired by Apple, and the cost for a damaged MacBook is $467.95, so $468, and it takes several weeks of turnaround. So again, just those are additional costs on top of what the cost would be.
Could you say that those total numbers again? The Chromebook was how much?
$132,272 per year. iPad is $373,205, and the MacBook is $443,500.
And those are all 5-year leases?
Those are 5 years.
Thank you for that.
We also, Susan, you would ask for a monthly financial report, if we could bring that back from the years before, and so we're rolling everything over to the new fiscal year, and so we'll start the monthly reports. Thank you. Okay, and I want to finish off with some very good news. The Falmouth Road Race grants, we were granted 5 grants this year. We have uniforms for the Lawrence School students at $25,000. We have, and when I say this is for the athletic uniforms, not the dress code uniforms, sorry, for the athletic uniforms. So $25,000. A Gaga ball pit for Teaticket. Those are very popular with our kids, so we're kind of moving around. So $18,377 for the Gaga pit. The Grit Freedom Chair. I want to talk a little bit about this chair, which allows our students that are wheelchair bound to be able to go on field trips. We borrowed this Grit chair, and a 6th grade student was able to go to Pinnakeys and be able to participate in every activity on Pinnakeys. So that was pretty awesome. At North Falmouth, we have a student also, and was able to borrow one, so that he could try out. And the trail, the 300 committee and the Rotary are putting in our trails next to each school, and the trail that they're building at, or have built, it's completed now, at North Falmouth requires, it's kind of rugged terrain, and so it would require that. So they have funded a Grit Freedom Chair at $4,800. We have, the Rotary Club is actually writing a grant to provide us with another chair. And so we're gonna have chairs so all of our students can participate. We do like to be inclusive, and Joan's very happy. She's over there smiling. It's fine. So, and then the Road Race has been helping us out with the fitness equipment at the wellness centers, and so they have granted us another $19,358 to continue to replace this fitness equipment at Morse Pond, Lawrence, and the high school. So we're getting our wellness centers completely renovated. And then the last one is exciting, is the Falmouth High School Sailing Boosters. Asked for the grant of $20,000 to get new sailboats for our sailing team. And so we're very excited that got funded as well. So no, it was quite a lot, 86,000, something we didn't add it, but
thank you, Falmouth Road Race.
It's very exciting, so.
Thank you. Excellent. Any questions or comments? No? Great, awesome. Routine business. Could we please approve the minutes from June 13th, 2023? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Sue Augusta, is there a second?
Second.
Margaret, jumping in. Any edits, comments, questions? Other things? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? I'm sorry, did Bill just say you're saying, oh, thank you very much. All right, it passes. Committee member reports. Does anyone have a report to report on? Oh, super. Any future requests for information? Terry Medeiros.
We've heard some discussion about the owls. They make the meetings hard to understand. We've heard from different people. So can we look into tweaking them or something, or moving them? I don't know. People have had a hard time from all the media ways they watch it. So I don't know if it's the owls, just thought I'd mention it. They scare me too, so I don't know.
Their talents?
Oh, the owls. The owls, yeah, not the ones on the roof. And the other thing, I know you heard me in the spring talking about modern teacher, so it's still to me not real clear about our connection with it. And I'm guessing since we got an award for stage 5 last year, we got an award for stage 6.22 this year, that we're looking to go to 7 next year. I'm just guessing if we're gonna follow that progression. So, I mean, the unknown always is like fuzzy. Could we get some examples of good things that have come from achieving these stages? I mean, they must be good or we wouldn't keep doing it. So just if we had some good, how, 1 or 2 specific examples where it's really helped us. And if we could also talk about the technology, because we heard Sonia say that it's very much based on the drivers of the frameworks of modern teachers. So how has that helped us with our technology? I mean, just some specific examples. I think everybody would be glad to hear those. So anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Anyone else?
I would like to. Can I be heard?
Are
You guys hear me?
Are you asking for a request for information?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay. Hearing no other requests for information, is there a motion to adjourn?
No.
I would.
Oh, sorry.
That's quite all right. No, I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank the school committee, the present one, the past ones. I'm exiting the district, and I wanted to be sure to be respectful of the school committee that supported me in the past 6 years serving as the Director of Human Resources for Falmouth Public Schools. It's an amazing town, amazing staff, and amazing peers and colleagues that I will continue to stay in touch with and appreciate. And I appreciate the difficult work that you were willing to do during the pandemic and other times before and after. And getting through that with professional and personal struggles essentially means really great leadership on school committee. And for that, I want to say thank you, and that it's recognized. I did send an email to each of you, but I'm the type of person who wants to tell you that I appreciate all the work that's been done. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say I didn't work with some amazing educators and directors and leaders in the district. And I heard that once a Clipper, always a Clipper. So I'll be watching from afar. I'll be definitely keeping track. So don't be surprised if you see me as a participant. Also, I am not falling off the face of the earth. If anyone has any request of something that I can do to help as a Clipper, I am more than happy to, because I do want to see the district continue in its upward mobility and have continued success. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Joanne.
Thank you,
Best of
Joanne.
luck. Thank you so much. I definitely didn't mean to shut you off. Sorry. Sorry. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Heather and Margaret, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Great. Okay, thank you. We're adjourned.